reciprocity and the Millman's theorem. We will also be discussing or identifying the conditions for which the circuit will be reciprocal. Previously, we have gone through the definition and concept of circuit elements. We have gone through the circuit laws, that includes the KCL, KVL and Ohm's law, nodal and the mesh method of analysis, and the various theorems, that includes the superposition theorems, Thevenin's, Norton's and the maximum power transfer theorems. The reciprocity theorem and Millman's theorem, which are to be discussed in this, will be completing the set of discussion on the network theorems. So to understand this particular reciprocity theorem, let us have a schematic representation. This particular is a linear bilateral circuit. So other than the bilateral aspect, you can say for the time being that it is consisting of linear passive elements. Those particular passive elements are RLC parameters. On the left hand side there are two terminals, X and X dash. There are terminals on the right hand side, they are the Y and Y dash. So on this X we are giving a input that is marked with input voltage, and correspondingly there is a current in the Y dash, or you can say branch Y likewise. If suppose say the position of this input and the output is exchanged, which is seen in the second diagram. So now the input is now at the Y dash and the output is measured at the X dash. So if the ratio of this input to the output, or you can say V to I, remains same under both the condition, then the circuit will be reciprocal. So just to define it further, a circuit is reciprocal if the current I appearing in a branch Y due to the voltage V in the branch X is the same as the current I appearing in the branch X when same voltage V is applied to branch Y. So the ratio of this input voltage to the output current is regarded as the trans resistance. So otherwise the dimension of V upon I is the resistance dimension, but there is no direct connection of the circuit elements. So that's why the name trans resistance is given. This particular theorem states that the circuit is reciprocal if the ratio of voltage to current remains same even when voltage and current position are exchanged. So this we have seen already. The network will be reciprocal if it is consisting entirely of the linear passive components. So this particular is to be taken note of, entirely of the linear passive components. So that particular is giving some insight into the information, but let's take another point. The reciprocal networks are also regarded as the bilateral. So the bilateral networks are those where say their performance is not affected by the change of direction of, let's say, current flow. So in this particular, when say we are moving the input from x dash position in the first diagram to the y dash position in the second diagram, the direction of current flow is going to be changed. However, the bilateral network requires that the performance should not be affected. So therefore it suggests that such circuits must be free from any active source, whether they are of independent nature or the dependent nature. So just to have an idea, an illustration, the circuit is considered where say this particular is entirely consisting of resistive elements. Here say the input, this is the output which is measured. Now in the second diagram we will be simply interchanging the position of this voltage and current likewise. So in this particular case what we will be getting here, the current which is through the supply, that particular will be defined after evaluating the equivalent resistance by this particular parallel arrangement. So 12 and 4 they are constituting the equivalent resistance at 3 ohms because they are in parallel. This 3 ohm is added with the 6 ohms, so that is constituting 9 ohms. So the current through supply will be 36 upon 9, that is the 4 ampere. Correspondingly, these two branches are connected in parallel. So I1 will be decided by the division of currents. So that particular is coming out to be 3 ampere. Now in the second diagram, we have simply changed the positions. So first of all, you have to find out the equivalent of 6 and 12. So that is constituting the 4 ohm. That is equal to the 12 into 6 upon 12 plus 6. So that is 4 ohms. This 4 and 4 they are added in series, so that is 8 ohms. So the IS2 will be 36 by 8, that is 4.5 ampere. Now the current I2 is decided by the parallel division of the currents. So that particular will be IS2 into 12 divided by 18, so that is 3 ampere. Now the voltage level value is 36, the current level value is 3 ohm. So the ratio is not going to be changed, or ratio will be same whether the first circuit or the second circuit. So this is a reciprocal network. Now let us take another complicated example, or you can say little complicated, where we will be invoking the mass analysis concepts. So this particular is the branch where say the source is connected. This particular is a branch or element through which the response or the output is measured. So in this illustration, the response I will be exactly equal to the I3 mass current. Likewise, so we will be forming the mass equations likewise. So this is a voltage rise, so minus 5 plus 2 into I1 plus 3 I1 minus I2 plus 4 I1 minus I3 is equal to 0 is constituting the first equation. These are rearranged, so the terms are written with a blue marks. Similarly for the other two equations we have. Now these three, or you can say the set of these three equations are solved by a standard method. You can make use of the elimination of variables, or you can go for the matrix inversion arrangements. The final values are coming out to be this one. So with the 5 volt, the value of the I3, which is the response I, is equal to 0.4255. Now we have changed the, or you can say exchange the excitation and response position. So here the current was directed like, you can say, from right to left. So the battery position is marked likewise. Previously the battery was injecting the source, so the current in the this interchange is marked like this. Again say we are going through this particular mass analysis, and here say the current, which is the response current, is coinciding with the I1 nomenclature. So the equations are written the way standard mass equations are to be written. So this particular, the first mass is not having any external source, so the right hand side is 0. Second is also not having, so that particular is also 0. Third particular is having a and experiencing a voltage rise around the orientation of I3, so the equation reduces to this. When you are solving it, you will be getting likewise. So when say you are calculating the ratio of excitation to the response, it is coming out to be same in both the cases, so it is a reciprocal network. This is also a little different story where say now the source is the current and the response is the voltage. So again we will be invoking, making use of the mass analysis, let's say, to analyze this circuit, and this 10 ampere is the mass current I1, so we have to write the mass equation for second and the third mass only, keeping the I1 as 10 ampere. So the I1 is 10, that is corresponding to the first current is known, first mass current is known. this particular is the second mesh equation, third mesh equation. We are able to solve it, find out the mesh currents, but the voltage direction is already marked. So that particular is, we have already studied the element current direction and corresponding the voltage. So the voltage polarity dictates that this particular has to be 5, which is the resistance value, multiplied by I2 minus I3, and that particular value is coming out to be 5.435 volt. Now we are exchanging the position, so the current source has to be in parallel. This particular has to be the terminals through which the voltage is to be measured. So this is the situation. Here say the current source is now injected into this and the voltage is observed across this. So it was a current source, so that particular is removed. So now it is a open circuit likewise. Now just to analyze it simply, we will be making use of the source transformation. So the current source with a parallel resistance is represented as a voltage source and a series resistance. Now we will be able to solve for two meshes, and these particular mesh equations are written. These equations are solved, and now the V voltage is to be identified. So that particular V voltage, you can say voltage rise from this particular to 6, this point, or you can say the voltage drop across the 6 ohm resistor plus the voltage drop across the 4 ohm resistor. So that particular is giving the value, and that is coming out to be 5.435. So this is also a reciprocal network. So what we have seen, that in this reciprocal network, this reciprocal network is consisting of only the passive elements, that is the resistors. Originally this particular circuit is not having any dependent source or independent source in this. Now the second theorem, it is the application of KCL, which is the Millman's theorem. It is the application of KCL, or you can say the nodal method of analysis. It can also utilize the source transformation. So the voltage source with a series resistance can be transformed to a current source and the parallel resistance, where say the current value is nothing but voltage source value upon the resistance. So the purpose of this is to calculate the bus voltage to which the number of sources are connected in parallel. So that we will be seeing. So if suppose say the number of practical voltage sources are connected in parallel, the equation is governed by this. You please be mindful when say we are saying the practical voltage source. So this particular is consisting of an internal voltage which is designated as E1 and a corresponding series resistor, so that is R1 for the first source, or you can say EI and Ri are the internal voltage and the series resistance for the ith source. So it is difficult to recollect this particular final expression. It is giving the anxiety how it has come, but let us see the equation and the schematic diagram. So it will be much, you can say it will give you much clarity and comfort to understand this particular terminology. So here say the voltage source is represented by internal EMF and a series resistance. So in this way you have extended all n sources. Likewise, when you are writing the nodal equation here, so the voltage of this particular point, or you can say terminal A, with respect to V is marked the V. So correspondingly what we will be writing the outward current through this, V minus E1 upon R1, outward current to the second one, V minus E2 upon R2. In this way you are proceeding, and the summation of all outward or inward current is to be taken as 0. So that is 0, that is, you can say the KCL arrangement. When you are rearranging this particular term, so the expression is resulted likewise. Now, when say this particular is resulted, you can simply say that E1 upon R1 is basically representing the injected current into the bus. E2 upon R2 or similarly EI upon RI will be the injected current into the bus. So here say I1, I2, I3 etc. we can keep on expanding the term of the numerator. Denominator will remain same likewise. So this particular the voltage source and a series resistance, if represented by an equivalent current source and the parallel resistance, the formulation will be like this. So this particular is giving, and when you are correlating the two equations, so E of I which is appearing on the numerator is exactly equal to the EI upon RI. Now this particular understanding can be extended to where say the number of sources are of voltage source nature or the current source nature. So you can easily combine, because this particular say the KCL or the nodal method is a general method, and the final output is the application of these two methods. So in a summary, the reciprocal networks are bilateral and consist of only passive components. If the network comprises any of the active source or the dependent source, then the circuit will not be reciprocal. In the reciprocal network, or in identifying the reciprocity, we are simply interchanging the position of excitation and the response. However, the position of passive elements are not changed. Millman theorem is an application of KCL and works with parallel connected sources. So thank you.